Hey there, everyone. I am just doing what I need to do to get Instagram going live, and then we are good to go. Hopefully, you can hear me. You should. And so it is Friday, and Friday the 13th, which is always a fun and interesting entry point into the weekend. And as I am here talking, I am just waiting for people to show up, and people are starting to show up. So that's pretty cool. And so welcome to Friday the 13th. And I was born on a Friday the 13th. So never has been unlucky for me, but I know that some people often are superstitious about today. And actually, what I have to share with you today is really cool. What I plan on sharing with you today is something that I actually share with lots of contributors to Steal Our Winners about 2 episodes and why I like these 2 episodes so much and why they tell a story. They're highly valuable, but they also, in of themselves, each and every one that I'm going to share, these 2, but the 2 combined also tell an amazingly awesome story. And so because of that, I thought I would share that with you guys today. You know, every morning right now, like I come to my desk around 8:30 and then think about what it is that I'd like to share today or what I could be talking about today in the live stream. And so each day I'm just kind of like picking it somewhat at random. And my hope, though, is, as I said at the beginning of this week, is that my goal is to really get into a routine, figure out what it is that you guys like most, and then ultimately start to create a show. And my timeline for that, I'm not really sure when it's going to happen, except that my goal right now is just to stick with these lives as much as possible. He said he will add, would you kindly add the obscure or hidden prompt he said he would add to the resources? Amber, if you could ask customer support, like I'm not sure about that. And so therefore, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I thought this was cool, and I thought I would just share with you guys something I found in my closet this past week. So look at this T-shirt, like still in pretty good condition too. This is back when I was like an extra large. So it's a rather large shirt, but MySpace. Blast from the past, right? I have a lot. I have an Overture T-shirt. I've got a bunch of relics from internet of the past. So okay, so you know, I do. Well, I would imagine. I hope most of you know that I do a. I have a subscription service called Steal Our Winners, and Steal Our Winners. What we do is we deliver strategies and tactics that are currently crushing it that most people don't know about yet. And there's a really good reason why we do that. And I'll save that for another time. But we have over 200 contributors to Steal Our Winners. And I do a intro call with every contributor and to discuss what their contribution is going to be and, you know, what are they thinking and kind of explain more about Steal Our Winners to them. And oftentimes when I am talking to them, I will share with them, if they have the time, these 2 episodes, because I think they're very reflective of like what good episodes are. And they also tell a great story. And those are the ones that I want to share with you today. So, wow, cool. We got more and more people joining us. That's kind of cool. It certainly seems like my reach is bigger in which ones? Well, it doesn't tell me which ones people are on here. Okay, cool. Anyway, but I can see your comments, and they come in off of StreamYard or on Instagram. I can see them both. And that's that. So let's dive into this. Yeah, I just wish there was more comments coming through. So when you feel inspired, make a comment. All right, let's go to this. There we go. All right. So this episode still ranks as one of my favorites. And there it is. It is Walter Birch. I'm cutting out the beginning of his first name. And Walter is one of the, he's a really top marketer out there, like in the space of lead gen. And anyway, he did this episode, and it resonated with me on a very deep level. And it resonated with me on a very deep level because this touched upon an area that I had done a lot of work on many years earlier when I wrote the Attention Age Doctrine 1 and 2. So anyway, let me tell you about this episode. So Walter did this episode, and he talked about how on YouTube, although what this episode talks about applies everywhere. So I want to just highlight that right now. Everywhere in any kind of advertising, in addition to every other type of marketing and selling as well. Anyway, Walter said that, when you go to YouTube and you're advertising on YouTube, and that's why this was a YouTube strategy, you can always target the right person, right? Because YouTube has YouTube's data, they have Google's data, they have Chrome's data, they have all the data, right? So you can always target the right person, but it's always the wrong time because they just clicked on a thumbnail and they're going someplace else and your ad pops up. So the big question to make YouTube advertising work is, how do you get the right person at the wrong time in the right mood, right? How do you get the right person at the wrong time in the right mood? And Walter distinguished between, you can open up your ad by teasing, right? Like teasing what's to come, or you can give people a taste. A taste meaning giving them value immediately, like as quickly as humanly possible, as a way of kind of earning the person's attention, right? Because people's attention is scarcer and scarcer. That's what I wrote about in the Attention Age Doctrine 1 and 2 back in 2007 and 8, that attention was going to become the scarcest commodity online, and therefore people were going to make different decisions about their attention, and this is one of those decisions. So Walter distinguished between tease and taste and how far superior performance was when you opened up with a taste as opposed to a tease. Does that make sense to you guys, right? Like, you might not have ever seen these, but like, does that make sense? That if an ad were to open with something valuable right up front, the likelihood that if they're talking to the right person, that it would get people to pay more attention and stay longer and watch more of it, because they're getting something valuable related to what it is they're interested in because the targeting is right. So do you follow what I'm saying? And just let me know in the comments. It would be great if you guys could comment so I know that at least I have sound and that you guys are hearing me. With that said, right now, let's take a look at what a tease would be first, and then we'll look at a taste. And the taste example is genius. Now, cool. Thanks, Red Lip Marketing. All right. So this is in the market of women trying to get a man. Okay, I'm going to show you two ads. I'm going to show you one that is all tease, and we're going to look at that first. Then I'm going to show you one that's a taste. And when I show you the one that's a taste, you might even want to take a picture of that one, because that would be one of the best ads to kind of appropriate in ChatGPT and make one for yourself. Okay. And then I'm going to tell you another episode that relates to this episode. So it's a really cool story. All right, so let's go to, now I just got to find where I put the slides. There they are. Cool. All right, so let's take a look at the tease, okay? All right, so here's the tease, right? Did you know there's one simple technique any woman can master in seconds that makes a man fall utterly, absolutely in love with just one kiss? It's true. There's one simple kissing technique that if you do it right, makes a man's heart burst open. So he sees you as the one. So he chases you. So he dreams about you. So even the idea of being with anyone besides you makes him nauseous and depressed. One simple technique that makes him absolutely obsessed with you. So he bets you something to be his and only his forever. Do you want to know what this incredible technique? If you do, I want you to stop whatever you're doing right now and go watch the special video I've put. Now you can see, right, that this is all tease. Tease, tease, tease. There's no value in here. And so when Walter shared that this only got 5,000 paid views, okay? The next one that I'm going to show you, very similar, got 10 million paid views. 10 million, right? Like an absurdly higher number than 5,000. But it makes total sense. And I want you to imagine for a second that you were in this market, but potentially clicked on something that you were interested in watching. There's nothing that was said here that makes you necessarily want to stay because it's all just a promise, right? But now look at what Walter identified as not just tease, but as a taste that then backs into a tease, all right? So let's take a look at that one. And I'll just remove myself here for a second so that, oh wait, I gotta go over here to do that, sorry. All right, let's just take a look at this for a second, okay? There's one simple kissing technique any woman can use to make a man beg to be her boyfriend. Okay, that's very similar to the first one, right? But now look how it changes. It's really very simple. So now they're already it's really very simple as saying like, I have the answer, right? First, you look him right in the eye while matching your breathing to his. Then you reach your hands up so you're holding his face so he can't help but pay absolute attention to you. Then do you want to know what comes next? The moment you kiss him, you do one simple thing that activates his primal masculine drive to make you his and only his forever, that makes him want to be your hero, that makes his heart burst open so he immediately starts to fall in love with you. Can you notice the difference between those two different ways of opening? And can you appreciate how much more superior this one is, the taste, to the tease? Let me know, comment back, just so that I know I'm not talking to an island for a second here. And then I want to tell you what happened with this episode. And while I wait for an answer, cool. Okay, cool. Thanks, Amber, for playing with me. All right, one sec. I'm just trying to see here if we're good. Yep, we are. All right, so here's what happened. So let me go back to me now. But yeah, let me go back to me for a second. So what happens is very often is, I would say like about 10% of the time when I do a Steal Our Winners episode, I'm so blown away by it that I tend to, I then send it to a bunch of my friends because I'm like, dude, you got to check this out. This is insanely powerful. And it's actually something I'm really proud of because I never did that. I never sent like a friend a module from any of my coaching programs, but very consistently, Steal Our Winners strategies are so good that I'm sending them to, Mike Filsain or Todd Brown or Donnie French or, some of my other close friends, letting them know that this will make a difference for them. Anyway, Walter's strategy that I just shared, this one, right, was so resonated with me so deeply that I did share it with a bunch of friends. I'm like, you got to check this out. And one of the friends that I sent it to was my friend, Donnie French. And he tested it, he tried it, and it worked. And it worked well. So then he had just become partners in a business called Performance Golf. He brought this to Performance Golf, that approach of taste as opposed to tease, and they then rolled it out throughout their company. And then about 16 months later, Donnie came and did a follow-up episode. So let me go back to my slides for a second. There we go. And it was called the $60 million ad copy secret. And what was really interesting, right, was that Donnie's company, Performance Golf, started to do taste in their videos, and they tested out the wazoo, right? So I'll save this comment for another day because that's not why we're talking about it today. But over the next 14 months, they spent close to $60 million on advertising, right? And here's what they discovered. They spent $58 million. They were sending traffic to 2 of their offers, right? They tested over 14 months, 5,553 variations. That's over 10 tests a day. And they had 18 ads fully scale across all platforms. So they consider an ad fully scaled when they spend $100,000 on that ad on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, so on and so forth, right? So a superstar ad works on all platforms, so much so that they could spend $100,000 on each and every platform. And they thought, right, that taste wouldn't necessarily beat out every other type of opening, especially when you're like on TikTok, and maybe entertainment would trump education, but it didn't. So they had 18 ads fully scale across all platforms, and all 18 out of 18, all used the taste formula in the ad. That's powerful. Do you get that? Do you get how powerful that is? So I just shared with you a strategy that someone brought to Steal Our Winners about the right way to open an ad that made a profound difference on YouTube. And then I told you that I shared that strategy with friends, and one of my friends took it into his company, spent $58 million using that strategy, and has confirmed it every which way possible. Pretty much anytime in any area online that you're trying to get someone's attention, one of the best ways to get that attention is to provide value as early as possible as a way of kind of earning the attention that you're asking for. That is one of the biggest takeaways that you can get, and this applies everywhere. When I start a webinar this way, when I start a webinar going right into value as quickly as possible, then pull back and maybe do the intro, people stick much better, right? And so that's the big epiphany thing here, right? That injecting value as early as possible buys you increased attention, and increased attention brings with it superior performance across the board online. That's how it goes. So that's where we're going to end today, right? Because my goal with these morning live streams is to not go on so long that I bore you and then you leave, but that I leave before you leave, so that you want to come back and that you want more. And I've got obviously ridiculous amounts that I can share with you. I've been online now for almost 25 years and seen a lot. So my goal here is to share a lot. And so with that said, I hope everyone has the most amazing weekend, that they enjoy Friday the 13th as actually a lucky day. And with that said, I will see everyone on Monday at the same place, same time, 9 a.m. here, wherever you're seeing me, and on every other channel that I can figure out how to be on. And with that said, to higher profits and beyond, Rich Schefren, over and out. Thanks for playing along with me today.